Hello everybody, this is James from No Dem Left Behind, and I'd like to invite every organization across rural America that's doing face-to-face voter engagement and mobilizing grassroots support to join as an equal partner in the Rural Outreach Coordinated Campaign. ROCC is the organizing infrastructure that we've lacked across rural America. We're bringing together partner organizations from across the country, sharing the best techniques and methodology and applying that to our own local areas, empowering the local organizations and leaders because only you are the expert in your area. Take a look at this example from our last session. And for future presenters, please contact me, James at nodemleftbehind.com. Tell us about your best work and we will amplify it and promote it to the best of our ability. Here's Julie Oliver from Ground Game, Texas.
Hi, everybody. I am the Executive Director of Ground Game, Texas. I found this really interesting postmortem of the 2020 election that showed ballot initiatives across the United States that really outperformed Democrats everywhere. And they were on things like $15 minimum wage, Medicaid expansion, marijuana legalization, even Nebraska, with 81% of the vote, won a ballot initiative that would curb interest rates for payday lenders. So there are a lot of very progressive issues, kitchen table issues that are passing when they're put on the ballot, but people aren't connecting the dots to the candidates that support those issues. So this is what I really wanted to try to crack in Texas. How do we get people to come out to vote? Maybe we entice them with an issue, and then, oh, by the way, these are the candidates, educate them along the way and say, these are the candidates that would support that. Democrats needed a winning message, and we propose workers' wages and weed, because those were the things that really outperformed Democrats and even Trump in some areas that were Trump strongholds. We collected signatures all over the state to do these ballot initiatives. And that's really what I call it. It's a Texas two-step. You collect signatures from registered voters in a city to get it on the ballot and be able to vote for it. So signature collection is the first step. Second step is the election. And we ended up having 6 elections in Texas. We won all of them. We were in Denton and Austin, San Marcos. Denton and San Marcos and Austin, obviously huge college towns. So we can demonstrate that we actually saw a sizable bump in the population under the age of 35 come out and vote. We were in Killeen and Harker Heights, which are suburbs of what was formerly Fort Hood, now Fort Cavazos. Strong military veterans communities. And then even tiny Elgin outside of Austin voted to decriminalize. And I will say all of them passed from either 64%, that was the lowest passage rate in Harker Heights, up to 85% in Austin. We flipped a seat, a DA seat in Hays County because of our work in San Marcos. We turned out 900 voters who would not have turned out to vote. The DA won by 700 votes. In Austin, we collected over 34,000 signatures. In the process, identified 5,000 people who needed to update their registration, meaning they either were not registered at all, which I think was about 1,500. The remaining of them actually had moved to Austin and never updated their voter registration in Austin. So we could identify them and work with partner groups to get them registered. So a really nice collateral benefit of just the signature gathering phase. Austin had the most voters. It's not the largest city in Texas, but we had the largest number of voters actually come out to vote. We also had the highest turnout in the state by a multiple of the other cities. This is where we're looking at the under 35 folks, the folks under the age of 35 who turned out to vote, and then our infrequent voter pool. And our infrequent voters, we're saying at most have voted only one time in a general election in the last 10 years. Our signers showed up who are under the age of 35 at over 15%, when the state probably around 2 to 3%. Our infrequent voters showed up at 7.34%, which was obviously much larger. Look at the infrequent voter turnout in Houston, 0.37, not even 1% of the infrequent voters turned out to vote in Houston, and yet we got 7%. When you see this, I hope it gives you hope, because it shows you that having something that entices people to vote when they may not know candidates really could be a winning proposition for our state. Policy drafting, you can affect change immediately. We're building coalitions in the towns we work in. We're providing jobs to folks through staffing to get canvassing signatures, and then doing signature verification meaning is it a registered voter in that town? In May, we're going to have an initiative on climate change and climate action in El Paso. In San Antonio, we just learned today that we actually collected enough signatures and it's going to be certified for the May election for what we're calling a criminal justice charter, and it's got 5 components to it. We want to expand into Texas's biggest cities, Houston and Dallas, Fort Worth. We want to do work in partner with smaller cities and smaller towns to do this work.